Good evening, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans. I am Rax. I'm here with Franklin for a VOD review. We're going to be looking at a winter tournament qualifier seed that Franklin ran. And we have Mecklin pushing some tracker buttons. Thanks for hanging out with us.
And me, Franklin, is here in the booth.
Yeah, so we'll get to talk about these things as you go through them, which should be exciting.
Do we want to jump
For
right in? Or, oh, wait, we should probably talk about party selection first.
Yeah, why don't you? Is this the party selection that you went with?
Yeah, this is the party selection I went with. I put. The thief had plus 400 gold point, or 4,000 gold points. Since the red mage had resistance to PEDTS, so almost a ribbon. White mage
Oh
had
wow.
plus fighter sword, and black mage had plus red mage armor. So here I was a bit uncertain with which mage to go with. I felt like the black mage was the safest option early on because I could get a white mage later. So I ended up taking that. What do you think about that?
That's a tough call. I really like the resistance on the red mage, but you do run the risk of not having access to some powerful spells. I think in this case I might have taken the red mage. It's only one blessing per character at this stage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, the those resistances can just be really strong. It makes it less likely that you'll wipe out of an early dungeon because of status effects and that sort of thing. Of course, there's a couple that go through anyway, but it at least reduces that chance. But Black Mage, like if there's a good sweeper, you're gonna have access to it for sure. Uh, and I certainly wouldn't have taken White Mage here. You do have the option also of looking at the level one shops, and if you're like, oh my god, there's like fade exit, then you can just reset. And if you're considering that, maybe Red Mage is the best take because that way, if you see that one direction is really better than the other, you can do that. It's recruits in
Taverns. So
taverns.
I can feel pretty safe with being able to check the first recruit and also the first magic and being able to reset out with minimal time loss if I need to.
Yeah, I think in that case, it's kind of up to preference. Like, I think I personally would prefer the red, just for the reasons that I said. But there's nothing wrong with taking the black mage here. You're gonna have chances to pick up a red or a white or something else if you decide you need to pretty quickly.
Okay, are we ready to start?
Yeah, let's do it. So for folks who haven't seen much of the winter tournament flags yet, there's a couple interesting things here. We are on a shard hunt, trying for 24 shards. We do have those recruits we talked about. Checking the item shop is great. Check the recruit next. I like checking the recruit before the magic. I might actually have to start doing that.
Yeah,
Those are fine white
counterclockwise is very
magic.
efficient.
Yeah. Okay, you got zap, you got ice too. This seems fine. And hints are off, right?
Yeah, hints are off. Took a while to get used to. First few runs I kept checking hints to find out that they're hints vanilla that aren't helpful.
Yeah, not much for you in the weapon shop. But the cloth is reasonable to pick up. Just because you have two characters, I don't know if I would prioritize it, but at 2 gold each, like you're already there.
And it's interesting being able to check the shops and then having the money to buy a lot of stuff because of the early thief gold. Although the early thief gold became basically irrelevant because of that chest, which basically doubled our money right away.
Yeah. Although if you have to pick up a caster in Provoca or something and buy a bunch, then maybe that'll be helpful.
Oh, one thing here I want to point out, the first time when I came to Toph, I saved before checking whether it was chime locked, which is a habit that I need to break because it happened once during a pickup race. And it's not the most fun thing walking all the way back.
That is a really good point. I actually hadn't thought of that. I think it won't happen that often just because it's so early in the logic, but it can happen. Pierogi, that's Ruby here?
I believe so. Auto Tracker says Ruby.
Auto Tracker says Ruby, so Human Tracker will catch up in a minute, I suspect.
My favorite use of the auto tracker is the fact that I can turn on loot and ruby fun percent without risking losing a significant amount of time over it, because I can just look over at the pop-up to see whether it is ruby or loot.
You have quite the run with no encounters too. It's like 4 out of 256, so that's still like pretty good.
I remember, I think it was the last week of the Duck Rally, and it had a 4 out of 256, and it became my favorite for encounter manipulation. I got really good encounter manipulation on it. So I was really happy to see it at the winter tournament as well. Although encounter manipulation is still a thing I need to get better at.
Yeah, well, we'll see as it goes. Did you hard reset out of Canaria?
Yeah.
Oh, then you gotta... This is a great seed for encounter manipulation. It shouldn't be too hard.
Well, I hard reset out of Canaria, and then I saved about halfway to Provoca and hard reset again.
Oh, you hard reset again. Okay. That's reasonable. I do like to, on the walk to Provoca, take advantage of that to, like, learn where in the music you have to be.
I was attempting to do that. The only thing was that... I want to start once I'm already on the route to Provoca after the bridge, so I'm not hitting any free tiles around Canaria.
Oh. And the bridge interrupts it too. Oh, these are great spells. Wow, you get
Oh, yeah, here I'm feeling pretty good about my choice of party. And I also picked up the White Mage after looking at the white spells.
Yeah, the white spells weren't amazing, but they're certainly good enough to take a White Mage if you were planning to take more characters, which I think you should with this comp.
A fun thing happened with the Fighter Swords White Mage. As the run went on, I gave him better and better swords, but oftentimes I just used a spell or light axe when I could have done way more damage with a melee attack.
Yeah, that might just be a force of habit thing. Oh, and here you're doing it, you're feeling it out, and...
And then I still don't get to find out exactly how long it is, because then I hit more free tiles.
Because you yeah. Well, you know, it's less than that.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh, I forgot that I did that.
You know there's not going to be an encounter. You know about where to use a tent. Assuming you have a bunch of tents, I don't hate this. The chance that you're going to die there is super high. And not, like, wasting your time on dying like that. I think that's a good move. Do you pop in for the 2 chests? I like to do this.
Yeah. And I like saving here now for this specific flag set because of the chance of one of these being a shard that I go for and then I wipe.
Yeah.
Which, as you can see, that worked out very well for me here.
Yeah, no, good call. Oh, that's a nice pickup.
The annoying thing is I think I accidentally dropped it later on in the run.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But I was really happy about that pickup.
Oh, yeah, you see that. Oh, you reset out.
Oh, that's what it was.
I think one thing I would say there, you made a point as soon as you got it of manipulating it up to the front, but you're probably not going to use it right away. I would wait until you're, until you need to be in the inventory for some other reason. It's a minor thing, but it's a good habit to get into. As you're fighting this Astos, I see in chat that there's no logic waiting to chime block shuffle. That is not what I expected, but it's good to know. Thank you. And you've got the ship. Nice. Good use of warp.
Oh yeah, and here I learned the lesson that Northwest Castle goes ship to Elfland Dock for some reason instead of Dwarf Dock. Oh, not for some reason. It's because extended open progression is not always on. Never mind. Now I understand.
Yeah. But you're right, it is fewer steps to Dwarf Dock. Yeah, you might as well stop in Elf while you're here. You do get the opportunity to revive also. Were you taking a note there?
I think I might have been interrupted briefly.
Oh, okay.
It's also possible I was just remembering what I went into the town to do. But I think I was interrupted at that point.
No, there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
It is useful to have sort of a script for how you're going to go through the town, but it is a little weird. Oh, that's nice. Life magic. It's a little weird in this flag set because you want to go check your recruits before you buy magic, so you're kind of going over and then back around. You could do a reverse loop, but I think unless you have a ton of money, you probably did the right thing here. Picking up Lock 2 there is interesting. I really like lock spells. I'm a big lock spell believer. It is using money that you might have had to use on a shop item, and you don't really need Lock 2 until much later. In this case, it worked out fine. I'm genuinely not sure what's right, but it's something to keep in mind, especially for more expensive spells. Like, do I need this now? And you have Canal already, so you have...
Lots of checks
Melmont...
over here on the peninsula.
Yeah. You get to look at level 5. You probably won't have access to that for a bit. Wall is really nice to know about if you don't find ribbons. Ice 3, Bane, and Lock, okay. You buy that to have a better sweeper, I guess?
Yeah, I wanted the White Mage to have a better sweeper. Although, buying it then was actually a bad decision because the White Mage didn't get any spell charges for it for a while.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. With how low level you are, it might not have been the play, but you'll take advantage of it eventually.
Oh yeah, here I love this use of the warp, going out there first to save steps, because it's worth it. It's stepwise to just warp out. Even though you
Absolutely.
have to walk the redundant step back in and out.
Yeah, the only thing I might have done differently there is check the non... Oh, the incentive also is a trap chest.
Yeah.
I might have checked the non-incentivized anyway, just in case you got, like, experience or something. Is that in this flag set? I think it is.
Yeah, I think all the experiences are like 3,000 exactly or something like that.
That'd still be good for that white mage, but
Yeah.
given that the encounters are local on the trap chest, right?
They are. Which is
Yeah, so
really
this isn't
fun
bad.
in Cardia.
Oh, because it's all dragons, right?
Yeah.
You might have found that, for example. I like that warp out. You did leave the menu and then come back in. I am incredibly sympathetic to that because it is so hard to break that habit for me. But it's something to keep in mind. It's a small optimization, but...
Could you repeat that, please?
Oh, sure. So when you warped out after opening chests in Titans, you moved your things around so that you had access to the light axe, which makes sense. That's very valuable. and then you left the menu, and then you went back into the menu and cast warp.
Oh yeah, I'm getting better at that, but it still happens about half the time.
It is a hard habit to break. I only mention it just to be like, yeah, like this is a thing. It's hard.
I think I got progressively better at it this seed as time went on because of the early warp.
Yeah, and you skip Earth because the incentivized item is behind the rod.
Yeah, I really like the random post rod flag. You never have to worry about diving Earth without the rod.
So at this point, I guess I'm thinking, are there places that I can get progression that aren't right here? And I think the answer might be no. What sort of progression might I be getting? Where would I be going? Like, as you're walking through the town, like, do you have a plan for where you go next if you get Canoe? Which is probably what it would have to be. Although I guess it could be a turn-in item.
It's either a canoe turn-in item or a floater, I believe.
Let's see. Oh, because you have the crown now, too. Where did that get picked up?
I think Sarda gave it to me.
Oh, okay. So there's two different directions. But they're pretty close to each other, so that's nice.
One technique I'm remembering just now that I've forgotten about for a while is just deciding what you're going to do next while you're doing something that you can do mindlessly, which is something I got good at during the Duck Rally, but recently I've kind of forgotten about that, and I just go on autopilot during these winter tournament flags. So that's a thing that I need to remember in the future.
Yeah, it can be tricky, but it's definitely valuable to sort of have that plan and know exactly where you're going. Yeah, that's the worst case, because now you have to decide which direction to go, and they're further away from each other. I probably would go down here to turn in Astos first, but this isn't necessarily wrong.
Oh,
I just
Auto
think
Tracker
that-
says that I've already gotten Astos. I remember that. I used like Ice 2 on it a few times.
Oh, no, you're right, okay. Oh, so you picked up Cube and Bottle, then, from
Yeah,
Sarda.
Mechlin says Crown is ship.
Right. And right, because we talked about having to go to the Red Dock.
And the long quest chain finally comes to an end.
And this gives you access to Ice and Volcano and Ordeals. And I think that's it here. Ice is not incentivized, so that's...
yeah, I only go there every once in a while. Mostly for shards.
You do have Warp, so you can get through it more quickly. But it is, because of the Sorcerers, I probably would not enter Ice here. Which I assume is what you do as well.
Yeah, I don't go for Ice, I go for an incentive. And I ended up choosing Ordeals. I really like Ordeals. It's really fun for me. I probably choose it more often than I should. But in this case, I have Ship. It's faster to do Ordeals, assuming it doesn't give me bad RNG. I have a really good hero run.
Yeah, you have a good hero run, you have Warp.
Yeah, Warp is big.
The only consideration I would give to doing Volcano first there is that you're already in the Inner Sea, so it's a lot faster to get to Volcano. But I think this is still fine. That's mostly because if Volcano has Floater, you're then right there.
This seed was played as a pickup race. Rubes was the only other person playing it, and I believe he also took the Ordeal's choice in this situation.
I think it's very reasonable. I don't know what I would do. I think I'd probably go for... Oh, that's rough. But you have warp charges. I think I probably would make the other play, but I'm not confident it's right.
I don't think either is right. But it's possible one is.
There's probably something that's mathematically better in some sense, but a lot of the time it's not worth evaluating. I'm curious why you use that instead of running. What's the HP scaling, I guess? Let's see. 80 to 120.
I think it's because I wanted more experience on the white mage.
Oh. Well, you got that. Are you doing the A
the
and
fast
B?
heal?
Nice. I still haven't mastered that.
Yeah, I was surprised by how quickly I learned it. And here I realized I went into the same pillar number 2 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, that'll happen. I think different people have, like, different mnemonics they use. I picked up one, I forget who it was, in a video. It might have been a Slodo. Of just, like, giving each room a name, and then saying, like, name of room, like, 1, 2, 3 in my head. This is a good source of XP. I am worried about your spell charges being gone before you get to the next room, just because you're probably going to have to open a couple of trapped chests also.
Yeah, I think that ended up coming back to bite me a little bit.
You have Cure 4 you could have used for a faster heal. What slot is Cure 4 in? I guess we'll see the next time you go into Magic. Because spell slots versus the speed of heal potions is always a tough choice. Oh, you're really good at that. You gotta teach me how to do that. Are you on controller or keyboard, actually?
Keyboard.
Keyboard, okay. Yeah, it seems a lot easier to use keyboard.
I don't know why, but those quick sequences come surprisingly natural to me. Maybe it's because I play piano.
Oh, maybe.
But it also just might be my previous video game experience.
Do you speedrun other things that have a lot of, like, combos like that?
No, this is the first game that I've put significant effort towards speedrunning.
So you're thinking here about what spell to... Yeah, that's what I was going to recommend. Zap actually has a decent chance here. Oh, especially after that slow lands. Woof.
I was feeling pretty
Every
good about
slow
Zap
isn't
after it
hurting
got
you.
1 out of 2 of them. And then this happened. Well, actually, it wasn't as long as I remembered it being. And then thankfully, as I was running out of spell charges, I get the key items, so I don't need to get the rest of the shards right away.
Yeah, and you're probably not coming back to Ordeals, so you just accept that there's one gone. Now you can turn in the herb on the way to Volcano, so that works out pretty well.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty good about how well it turned out. But I realized once I got to Elf Castle that when I was at Elfland I forgot to check whether it was chime locked.
Oh. Yeah, that's a good thing to keep in mind, to just like walk into places even if you're not going to go back to them later. Or not going to go back to them until later.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh. Well, that didn't lose you that much time. You probably wanted to revive and go to the end anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't a harsh time lock. It's not like how annoying it would have been if I encounter mapped my way to Volcano and then found out that it was chime locked and I had to go get chime at ordeals or something.
Yeah. Oh, that's something to keep in mind. I think you may have done this even, but if you are going to ordeals in that situation, you might keep your save somewhere where it's easy to reset back to and get back to Volcano quickly.
I think I was very careful to save and hard reset right before going into ordeals to get the hero run, which came very helpful.
Oh yeah, I think that once you go in and see that it's not chime locked,
Oh
you can
yeah,
take the
that's
one
fair.
step back out.
Just see if it's chime locked, be ready to reset out.
Yeah, I've built that muscle from entrance randomizer because sometimes you go there and it's just useless, and you want to be able to leave. But I think with chime lock it works similarly.
Oh, a thing I've been consistently doing in my runs is checking armory. I'm not sure whether it's the play that I should be making.
So with the amount of gear that you have here, I like the armory check. What I would do is wait to equip things until you've checked everything, unless you find something like if you find a ribbon, yeah, go ahead
equip
and
it
do
right
an
away.
equip. Ah, you don't see those often. That light axe has been really nice.
Yeah, it's really nice having a light axe and a white mage. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite as good this run compared to others because of the fact that I overused it once I had a good sword for the white mage.
Picked up a bunch of money here. Did you walk into that tile on purpose? Did you just want to check it?
Walking
Okay.
into it on purpose to check it.
I usually check that one. Oh, okay. Alright. I like that. Save the gear that you got. I think that's the same tile as it is on the chest, like above where you were right there. So I like to check that one, but as long as you're checking it somewhere, and you're not like using up extra steps, it's totally fine. This all looks good. I'm starting to find these rooms really fun to route personally, just because it's like, oh, I've memorized how to walk through this.
They are really fun. Also, when you're playing with no encounters on like a Chaos Rush or something, it's fun to play it the intended way and avoid the lava for once. One trick for anyone who's watching that I figured out is that you can buffer the inputs until you get to this floor downwards, and it's always the correct direction to go. That was really helpful for me in shaving off a half second every time I switched floors in Volcano.
That's really good to know. Thank you.
It even works on this floor when you come into it, so you get that nice little warning.
I've definitely done that, where I take the one step down and I'm like, oh right, I'm here, and start turning left. Oh right, vanilla. Everything has vanilla scripts.
No, I don't think it's everything has vanilla scripts. And here I felt pretty great about the way the randomizer chose game design here.
That is true. Let's see. Oh, okay. It's just bosses that aren't shuffled.
Yeah, bosses aren't shuffled, and touch attacks aren't shuffled.
Right, that's why I got confused.
And then, yeah, I know I walked into a spot I shouldn't have there.
It happens. Yeah, here's another place where you might not need to do that right away. It does give your mage something to do that isn't the attack that you were doing earlier, so I can see it. This one I would have waited on. But obviously it's a great pickup.
And then I think for a little bit, then decide I'm just going to leave instead of trying to take on carry and probably losing.
That's fair, and I guess you have enough warp charges. I might have done the one where you don't have to step on anything but lava and use the last warp charge here, but...
Yeah, that might have been slightly faster.
But it's not a huge thing. Okay, so what was that incentive item? That was
the chime. Oh, the Vorpal was random. It's not
the Vorpal was random. Oh, okay. I can't hear the sound, so you took a second on it, so I thought it was the song, but turns out that was just being like, ooh, Vorpal. Oh, okay, so chime. So you had to do both, effectively, to get anywhere. You had to do both ordeals and volcanoes, so the order this time turned out not to matter. I missed it there. Did you buy houses?
I wasn't watching closely. I think I might have not, and then I had to go out of my way to buy them later.
Yeah, I wouldn't have bought a ton just because you want to... Oh, 3 houses. Yeah, that's actually pretty reasonable. You want to save money in case you have to buy a shop item. Because you haven't seen that yet. SC does not want you to have the floater.
I love how many of these winter tournament seeds delay floater as much as possible.
And in later rounds, you get things like northern docks and such, right? So it'll be even more common.
Knowing winter tournaments tomorrow is giving me a similar feeling to when it was the day before the Duck Rally. Not quite as exciting because the Duck Rally was my first competition, but it's still exciting.
Yeah, it is always really fun. Do you get nerves? Or are you just, like, excited?
Around the time of the Duck Rally, I would get really nervous right before I start recording. But fortunately, since it's async, I can go drink water, go to the bathroom as many times as I need. And since then, I've gotten better at it. Since my composure is good in general. Especially once I get into the seed.
Well, if you have, you said you play piano, so if you have experience with performance, that sort of pressure is probably something that's already familiar.
Yeah, it's surprising how much overlap there is with video games and instruments. There's actually the hand manipulation, there's the stress management. There's also the practicing something to get really good at it, and knowing to practice the one thing that you're bad at over and over until you got it. That's the most useful skill I've learned from instrument that I've used to get good at video games quickly.
No, that makes sense. I mean, practice is everything with this kind of thing.
Yeah, practice and then deliberate practice where you're specifically working on the things you're the worst at.
That's true. And that can be a little trickier in this, but things like menuing you can do that with pretty easily. Or like that potion trick, like I think it's a little easier on keyboard, but you probably still had to drill it a little bit. And
Yeah.
just doing that is great.
Right before that, I had just perfected the potions without it, with moving from player to player. And then I pick up the Thor hammer there, and remember that the fighter has improved Thor. So here I'm thinking, do I go and recruit a fighter even though it's this late into the seed?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Um, they'll catch up pretty quick. Oh, I like the zap there. That's cheeky. I don't know if Thor Hammer would be enough to push me over the edge there. But I guess the question is, if you're not going to recruit a fighter, what are you going to do? Are you just going to go with 3?
Yeah, I think that is the two options. I already have a couple pieces of fighter armor, I think. Either that or I pick it up in Earth right here.
And Excal is incentivized. I guess that would take you off of the
Yeah, the Thor hammer.
Thor Hammer. Now, was that an incentive ribbon, or was that just a
That
ribbon?
was just a ribbon.
Oh, there's no incentive ribbon. Oh, that's spicy. You put the ribbon on the life caster, that makes sense. I do like this warp a lot. One thing I'd be thinking here, you don't have a lot of shards, right? You probably have, I want to say like 4?
Yeah, I have very few shards here because I left Volcano early, and I also had to leave Ordeals early. Or, not early, but I had to skip the shard because I ran out of magic charges.
Yeah, you left 1 behind in Ordeals, which is fine, and then you left an unknown number that could even be 0 behind. But it could be more in Volcano. And so that's, yeah.
I believe
often
Rube's
won't
got
check
4
these
shards
3.
ahead of me by going all the way through Volcano. And
Oh,
2 of
wow.
those were
I
from
guess they-
carry.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah. But not taking carry if you think you're gonna fail the fight makes sense. Getting the floaters, awesome. Oh, and you have to check here anyway because it's the incentive item. I was thinking, do you go get these 3 boxes or not? They're not that out of the way. But if you already have the incentive item, I'll often skip them.
I almost always skip them if I already have the incentive item. But if I don't, I'm happy to go over and grab it. Or if I'm scared that I'm going to wipe an Earth, then I am rather upset that I have to go and grab it.
Yeah, but you should be fine here, I would think. You don't have a ton of melee damage, but you should have the magic to get through. Lich, yeah, Ice 2, Sleep 2. I don't actually have the skill list to hand. I just
Oh yeah, I
have the
actually
spell.
tried casting fast on the thief here. I forget how well it worked. I wasn't able to get the temper off, so I don't think it worked that well.
Oh, Lich has fast. Yeah, I guess the question is if you have an offensive magic that would be better or not.
Right, and I just switched to fire too because I realized that the thief is weak.
Yeah, Fire 2 probably would have been a bit faster, but it's Lich, so you still get through there. That's one where it can be nice to know, okay, when I fight Lich, what am I going to use, and try to have that plan in advance. And if it's just Harm 3, Fire 2, attack, that's fine. Yeah, stopping in here makes sense.
And I love airboat.
Airboat's great.
The only thing I don't like about it is that the auto tracker really dislikes it. And it'll keep switching between whether you have the airship or just the floater. If you're in the airship, it thinks you only have the floater.
Yeah, it is kind of a silly distracting visual, but it shouldn't actually impact anything, right?
Yeah, maybe
Oh,
makes
steam armor,
me
too.
slightly more hesitant when I'm in the air deciding where to go next. But fortunately, I have practice without the auto tracker.
Okay, so you have Thor +5 and some pretty good armor.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I do take the fighter gambit.
I think it's very reasonable. You haven't seen any weapon yet that is exciting for your thief. You have seen a weapon that's exciting for the fighter. Are you doing Sky right away?
No, quickly turning
you're
in the
coming-
bottle. And then after a bottle
Okay.
turn in, we're gonna see the thing that pushed me over with my decision to take the fighter. Oh, a trick that I've picked up, I don't remember who I picked it up from, but it's when buying heals, buying one less than the maximum, so when you pick up a random heal in a chest, you get above 100 because of the multiple bottles per pickup.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I think it makes sense that you're not checking magic here.
I think
you
it had
have
life
most of
too.
the things you need. Oh, it had life too?
Yeah, because I checked Lafine later and it didn't have life too. But I did have
that
life
would've been
once, so it wasn't a
nice.
huge deal.
And you wouldn't have been able to buy it then anyway. So you can always come back if you need to.
And then here's the big thing that makes the play viable. Cardia with local encounters means lots of XP. And I can get the fighter up really fast.
I mean, that does help. I think that zombie dragons are undead and thus Zap won't work.
We used Zap on them earlier in Ordeals.
Oh, what was it? Oh, you used Bane Sword. That's the thing.
Yeah, it was the Bane Sword. Poison's not gonna work on them.
Yeah. Yeah, and that one
need
fight
to keep
gets
the fighter up so
to,
that it
like,
gets XP.
Yeah.
I even considered putting the White Mage in front of it to take more hits, but I ended up not doing that.
How does the Sun +5 compare? Oh, the White Mage can wield
Yep.
it. That's pretty nice.
And then here's the part where I start overusing the Light Axe when I should be using the Sun Sword.
I mean, the area effect damage can still be really good, but
Yeah.
the Sun Sword probably will do some real damage.
It did bring me a lot of joy seeing the White Mage swing a Sun Sword like a fighter.
It is always fun when you get to do melee White Mage.
Right, like the famous White Ninja. Or, no, White Samurai with the Masamune. I think I got rather lucky with the order of dragons that I got going through Cardia. I got easier ones first, so I was able to level up the fighter a little bit more easily.
You've just got a lot of reasonable swords. I don't know if this one is enough to bother. Like... Yeah. I mean, it's good to check if you're not sure which one is better, but, you know...
Yeah,
you probably
they're
could've
close
just
enough
saved the
that it wasn't
twirling.
worth taking all that time to switch.
Yeah. This is interesting. Are you going to turn in... Okay. I might have done on-rack while I was there. Unless, is it locked? On-rack?
It's Mermaid Prison, yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, then this makes total sense.
It felt pretty great to have all caster gear for this fight.
Yeah, it saves you from using spell charges, and it goes pretty quickly, especially the fact that you have good ones that it doesn't resist lightning and harm. You are out of warps now. Oh.
Yeah, so I quickly go and get those back, since it's convenient.
If you have houses, you can probably just rely on those.
I don't have very many yet, I think. And then there I looked and remembered that I never got White Magic level 1, which has the heal 3, which is very helpful. I can just spam heal 3 whenever I need to heal.
Yeah, heal 3 is nice. I would not have come back here. Oh, actually, you have key. Okay, this is fine. I think that you can safely use a house because you only need to use a few houses over the course of the run, probably. But if you want to get the locked item anyway, then you might as well get the spell, and you might as well stay at the end. Like, it's fine. You get a better sword for the thief. Again, I would open all 6 boxes before twiddling, but it makes total sense to improve the gear.
I think Steel had slightly more protection, but had way more loss of evade.
Yeah, the ice also has a resistance, so I think it makes sense to do it this way.
Right, I don't think that was part of my decision, but I realized it after I made the decision. And I've noticed this strange thing where whenever I pick up items that I specifically left an empty spot in the first slot for, it gets moved around.
Yeah, it always goes in the last slot that the character has.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to move things around anyway.
Yeah, so I need to get in the habit of moving things around after instead of preemptively.
Yeah. That's a good... Actually, I know that Mechlin, who's lurking with us in chat, uses it. There's a tool that lets you... Are you remembering the Oasis? Yeah. There's a tool that lets you see how much time you're spending in menu. It's a plugin... it's like one of the Lua plugins. And that can be helpful if you're worried that you're spending too much time to really be able to, like, count it and drive it down. My solution to that was to get almost obsessional about just never opening the menu. I will occasionally, I think, err too far on the other side and just, like, not look at gear for the first 15 minutes of the seed. I wouldn't actually do that, but trying to practice minimizing that time, I think, would be a good thing. Yeah, I like not taking encounters here. Something in the flag set that probably most folks are aware of by now, but just in case, there are... it's like plus 50% per 8 shards or orb. And you are at 8 shards and an orb, so you do have an improved experience bonus, but it can go up a lot. So...
Right, whenever I'm close, I try and get that last couple shards real quick before I grind.
Oh, and this turns out to be great. That's probably 3 shards.
Yeah, definitely 3 shards, because the key item is only the robot.
Yeah, and I guess that's all the more reason not to take random encounters here, because you're gonna have to open a bunch of these. Gas Dragon. It's a shame it's only 1.
And that time I remembered to actually use the Sun Sword on the White Mage. Didn't work that time.
Well, it was still the right play, probably.
Yeah, it works the majority of the time that I used it. Yeah, when I was doing the one, just the A button over and over for the heals, started by getting really good at moving between players optimally. So, but I lost that once I changed the pattern to include the B button. So once I got the order of it down, I started reintroducing that. I'm getting close to mastery of it. It's not quite
that makes
there.
sense. The thing I would point out there is you called it out that heal 3 is really good for that kind of situation.
Right.
Why aren't you going into Unrack here?
Oh, because I just got tail and I want to promote.
You want to promote. Okay, that's...
And then I accidentally click really early and remember that airboat's on.
Now, I don't remember you have any gear that specifically makes promotion important, but the earlier you do it, the more spell slots you're
I
going
have
to get.
Vorpal for the ninja and Opal armor for the
right.
knight.
Yeah, I don't think the Opal on its own is worth doing this for, but the combination of the spell slots and the Vorpal, because whatever the ninja's wielding right now, it's not very good.
Yeah, it just recently got a wear sword.
Yeah, here's menuing time.
Yeah.
You do get to equip the Vorpal. You don't have Excal, so probably there's nothing else to really do here. You did use Warp without leaving the menu that time, so good job. You're translating the slab. I might have just gone back to Unrack there, just on closeness, because you know you're not going to do this first. I guess maybe your play was to go to Lefane for the magic, but I would have waited, I think. Yeah, I usually like to take my long treks where I'm not sure where I am up or down because of that. I think you were in that band where you can actually get stuck going left and right and not seeing any land. So good call to just look at the menu if you're lost. Look at the map rather, but you can also, if you go up or down, you will eventually see something that orients you. There's nowhere that you don't. Defense +5 is great. You haven't leveled up to get spell slot. Oh, okay. This is why I would say not to do this. Because you don't have spell slots on the ninja or knight yet. So you can't actually buy for them here, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, you can still buy for them, they just can't do anything yet, and thankfully they still have time to level up and get the charges. But yeah, they can still buy.
Oh! Well, I need to start doing that then. I've been waiting until the magic menu actually shows up. That is good to know. So today I learned. Thank you. Worth pointing out the light ninja and dark knight here. Very cool.
It changes up the strategy quite a bit.
Caster. Yeah, I think skipping Harm 4 is right.
Yeah, just checking if Life 2 is there.
Yeah.
Although, as you can see here, I'm fighting muscle memory for wanting to put the black magic on the knight.
Yeah, no, I do that too. Getting access to Fast and Temper is great, though. I don't know that you'll use the others that much. Fast Temper, might as well pick up Lock 2, you're right here. I like that. Is there anything you would want for the... Yeah, there's things that you would put on the Black Mage. Quad X is fine. It's fine to not take it, but buying it there would also be reasonable. That's not... Well, you have the money, I guess.
Yeah, I've already gotten the shop item.
You didn't check 8 there. I guess you were probably not going to have more than 0 to 2 slots anyway, so it doesn't matter much. And now, yeah, now you can make this play because you're right here. And you need 13.
You mentioned the tool that keeps track of time in battle, menu, and shops.
Yeah. It's linked on the wiki. I can try to...
Yeah, I just put it on the stream for anyone who's curious to what it looks like. So right now, because I did have it when I was streaming this last night. So right now it's keeping track of the time that's taken in this battle. It doesn't update right away, but as soon as the battle is over, you're going to see the time in battle jump up.
Yeah, and these are... If you can drag these numbers down, that's always going to be good. It's never going to be 0, obviously, because these are things you need to do. But increasing menuing speed will be really helpful with that.
Yeah, and then for battles, for me, the biggest thing is similar to routing, remembering to actually decide what I'm going to do before the decision point has come, so I'm faster with choosing what to do. And menuing to it.
Yeah.
Because I'm losing a lot of time during battles to that.
Yeah. No, you can sort of see when someone is thinking. There's like a pause in the movements.
Yeah.
And I mean, you should think if you don't know what you're doing.
But
like,
it's
that's
always
important.
better to think when you're on autopilot and you haven't reached that crossroads yet.
Exactly. The warp out and save is great. That puts you at 13 out of 24, I think.
It's funny how often I'm in the predicament of I don't have nearly enough shards, and then I go to Sky to quickly find the incentive, and then I can't find the incentive for a really long time, so I get way more shards than I need.
Yeah, Sky, I'm pretty sure that Sky has the most boxes of any dungeon. I forget the exact count. I don't know if I would have bothered to pick this up. You're not going to go back and fight Carry, probably, and if you do, because it is a pretty quick dip down, you're probably not going to have to worry about that.
I think I grabbed it because of the +5 and +4 on all of the items. It actually makes melee on the mages surprisingly good, and it has come in clutch before. And also speeds up some of the more minor battles.
I saw that you picked up the heal helmet also. That can be a helpful item, but I think with heal 3 on 2 people, you probably don't need it.
Right, including the ninja himself. I think I picked it up more for the armor, though. But probably still wasn't worth trying to get.
That would be my thought. Yeah, here you're using the heal 3, that's great. Having the Bane Sword as your default like that is actually really nice. So that's 15 shards. I'm a Vorpal fan when it is positive, when it has a positive blessing.
Yeah, and here it
I do like
does.
that. I would certainly swap to a katana, but if you don't have a katana and you have Vorpal, Vorpal's looking good.
I'm currently undecided on the Vorpal debate, because on one hand, I don't feel like it's a paper cutter, and I like its versatility. But on the other hand, more times than not, it feels way weaker than it should be for a legendary weapon.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the debate gets played up as a fun community thing.
Yeah,
Like
it is really
ultimately,
fun.
it's a useful tool, and it is the best at crit unless you have a powerful katana. And also, you're gonna want to have temper or saber or something to go with it. What if you have a moth in chat from VT Arxilus? I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I had a moth. I'm guessing. Oh, the door glitch.
Yes,
there
I
was
love
cute.
the door glitch when I remember that it exists.
So you need 7 here. I think it probably makes sense to pick them up still. But I wouldn't go...
Well, the key items are locked behind the marked boxes as well. So I'm really hoping
right.
that a loot is in one of these.
Because you want to get through that. That makes total sense.
But I also
it's
need to check
random
the other
spread.
boxes as well in case it's an X-Cal.
Dragon armor, I would take the time for. When you don't have a ribbon, the resistances are great. I don't think you have to save the opal armor, though. You can just drop it, because it's not like anyone else
Yeah, I
can
don't
wear
need
it.
to sell it anymore.
Yeah.
There was
you
a
are
run
skipping...
that selling the opal armor came in clutch early on. Because I didn't have a fighter and I found it in Marsh while grinding for a shop item.
No, it can be great to sell those things early. Oh, do you use the wizard stick
On
here?
accident, I meant to use the Thor... Or not the Thor, the Zeus Gauntlet.
Use gauntlet. Yeah, you just type it. That happens. Switch your attacks when you're down to 1. Yeah, improved Thor is looking pretty good. I'd wield Excal if you had it, but... And then exactly how to play this, which things to get, which things to warp.
Oh, and then here I'm purposely taking a few heal pots because I see the heal and I want to go above the 100 maximum.
I think that is technically optimal, but the process of taking the time to think about it might not be. Like, you don't really need to have 105 heal potions instead of 99 because you have, like, 10 heal 3 charges. Like, you're right that is the way to get you.
I already need
potions.
to use heals anyways. I wasn't just throwing them out the window to pick it up.
No, that makes sense, but I think...
Heal 3 is still faster.
Yeah. Like, you probably do save menu time. Just not bothering with that. This is good XP, too. That's nice.
It was very fun seeing my gambit of taking the fighter really late pay off.
I don't even know if
do
it's
wonder
really
whether...
late.
What do you say?
I don't know if it's really late. Certainly you could have gone without it, but I think it was a good move.
One thing about the move is that maybe I should have taken the fighter right away in Corneria. That's what Rubes did. Although most of the good fighter stuff that I found after I got the fighter for specifically the Thor hammer. So I think in this case, getting it late worked out really well for me, especially with getting levels on the other characters really quickly.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad to wait on it. Oh, this is like the third door glitch this run. It is blessed. Uh, I probably would have taken the fighter right away as well. But I think waiting is also fine, especially if you're looking for something else in particular or thinking you might want to go 3 casters. The ninja can use that. I don't know if I would have taken the time, but that is a reasonable thing to pick up if you're going to be menuing anyway. And then, yeah, just 1 Whizvamp.
And then here I'm a little bit sad.
Yeah.
It's not in any of the good chests. I have to go and check all the ones I skipped.
Yeah, and it's probably right not to use warp that time.
Yeah, I realized that as I was going into it.
It depends how many charges you have and what you want to save. I assume that you're fighting Tia here to finish out your shards.
Yeah, I was, but I also wanted to keep warp charges to be able to go back and check the skipped chests quickly, and also just in case I just want to warp out if I get enough shards just looking for the incentive.
That's true. If you found what is it, 5 more shards, then you would just bail. There's no reason to go fight Tia anyway.
Which I was really wanting to go fight Tia because I have Brack and Bane on a ton of different people. And insta-death is fun.
Insta-death is fun. 4 times.
Maybe we should name the technique of not putting on your items that you just got until you leave a room the door glitch technique.
Maybe.
That might be a good reminder for me to do that.
Is it going into the menu?
Yeah, going into the menu and then out of the menu.
Okay.
While in the doorway. So it's a fun thing that I can do, I guess, and then if I go for it, then I'm more likely to be optimal with my equipping.
Yeah, I think if anything, like that's good. Like you want to wait until you've like gotten a bunch of boxes to do your menuing. Oh, is it gonna be the one on the first floor?
Yeah, I was really worried about that because I am going to skip it. It's not gonna be there, and then I was rather disappointed with the X-Cal. I was really wanting to loot since I was so close to full shards. Or maybe I do have full shards right now.
I think
I have 3 away.
Yeah, you need 3. And 3 is a fine number. If it were 1 or 2, I might be tempted to just leave. But at 3, I think you just go fight Tia.
Well, here I'm starting to go fight Tia, but then I think I realized that I still need to go to Mermaids to pick up loot, and I can just pick up the shards on the way since I need to check those. Or maybe I do fight Tia. I don't remember.
Yeah, at 1 or 2 shards, especially 1, I would just assume that I could go get it in C. But at 3, there's a chance that you don't find them on Mermaid Floor or the floor before it, and then you're running around trying to find the last shard, and that's never fun.
It's an interesting risk-reward balance.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you got lucky and found the 3 shards there, then it would save time. Yeah, I would put the X-Cal on with the Hurt All, personally, but with Improved Thor, I haven't actually run the math. Looks like you decide that as well. Makes sense. What are you thinking about here?
I think I ran to indecision with whether I go with the insta-death strategy or not. When I really just need to pick one and go with it.
Yeah.
And then I take the worst option. I go middle of the road.
I don't even know if it would be the worst option. I think anything, like, you are probably winning this fight. Tiamat is at 150% of health, which is plenty, but not that bad. You have plenty of tools. You're pretty high level. Maybe it's faster if you hit the Brack or the Bane.
Which I do right here. With the Brack.
But either way, as long as you just do something quickly, you're going to win the fight. It's a harder decision if you're worried that you might not win the fight. But here, I think you're fine. And that's saving right outside before you take a step would have let you reset out of that, but I definitely have forgotten that too. So all you need is the loot.
Yeah.
Any iteration since you were over there to turning in... Oh, you already turned in the slab, right? No, this has to be it. I'm thinking of the tracker here as the auto tracker, and it would be like checked off, but we don't have that.
Oh, I just realized, since auto tracking is enabled, I need to learn how to get the auto shard tracking on, so I stop checking the menu for how many I have left.
Yeah, I don't actually know how to do that. I know that it is doable. I know that Mechlin does it. It's just a variant. Okay, so you have to select it.
I think I didn't even know it existed until I saw a Mechlin live stream with it.
There
and
you
then
go.
Here I got lucky. I didn't have to get a bunch of shards.
Yeah, and you want to save just so that you can reset out of any encounters. And that's basically it. I guess you already picked up spells. You have plenty of heal potions. You might have not have 99, but you have plenty. You have houses. You probably get to just go. You're a little weak to the Lich Nuke right off the bat, but I wouldn't grind in advance.
What's your favorite Topher?
My favorite Topher is mid Topher.
Me as well.
I love a short Topher, but sometimes when I get to it, I'm like, oh, that was all. And this feels like a nice... I feel like I have a treat, but I'm still doing a dungeon.
Yeah, I still got to run around and have fun without forgetting exactly where to go over and over.
That was scary, but nobody died, so that's good.
Yeah, I could just heal 3 and it's like it never happened.
Oh, that 3 hits 3 damage there.
That really confirms the Vorpal is a paper cutter. I was not happy about the 3 damage from that.
Yeah, you have the Excal, so it's okay, but, like I said, if you had the katana, great. But if you don't, I wouldn't use something significantly worse. Although, Mechlin did point out in chat, I think it was Mechlin, that the rune plus 4 does actually hit 3 of the fiends for elemental damage.
Alright, that's a good argument. It reminds me of how, around this time, I was thinking about how I was going to switch back to the Thor Hammer for Chaos, because I don't have the Excal bonus for Chaos. But I think I ended up forgetting to do it once I got to Chaos. I just switched everything except for that.
I've definitely done that before. It is good to have the... It's good to make the switch, if you can. You could even, given the hit point difference, consider just straight up giving the Vorpal to the knight. And just putting all of your temper and fast into that.
I think the improved Thor might be slightly better.
It's definitely better than Excal. I don't know how the crit works out.
I feel like, based on vibes, it'd be better than the Vorpal, but maybe not.
Improved Thor doubles attack. Oh, that would save you a lot of temper charges.
Yeah. I really would have had a better time if I remembered to switch.
Yeah, here somewhere we're in a race, I probably would have just used heal 3 charges, because I think you have, like, still, like, 9 or 10 between the characters.
I really like being able to use the power bonk on the first round of a fight, so I can get the fast off without worrying about swinging before the fast.
No, I think that's solid. I like wall, too. You have 1 ribbon, I think, on the...
Yeah, 1 ribbon on the white mage, which I moved to the fighter for chaos.
Going for the cheeky Brack, I think is fine. It has some chance of working, and you're not doing... You don't need to worry about anything else. Well, that
and then the problem of choosing what to do with the black mage took care of itself.
I think in a lot of these fights, if you know that you're going to win by just attacking with your melee, you can just wait.
Yeah.
It is the fastest. Yeah, so here's the final menuing. Life, and you have 6 Cure 4 charges, so yeah, absolutely, you can just do that. And then you switch the ribbon, maybe.
Yeah, switch the ribbon, forget the weapon.
Yeah, and that's fine. You with power bonk, you're gonna be fine. Do you have any way to give the knight evasion here? You don't, do you?
I don't, except for the defense sword that he's wearing, I think. Or maybe I think the ninja has that. Never mind.
The ninja has it, yeah.
Yeah, no evasion and also no fog either. So I'm relying on that dragon armor. Which is probably
fine. You can cast wall too if you want.
Oh yeah, I think
both of them.
Oh no, I cast wall on him a couple times, but I moved the ribbon to him instead.
Yeah. You could have cast wall on the white wizard, but really at this point, all you really have to do is make sure that your knight is powered up.
Yeah, I considered it, but then decided to go for the quick kill. Which I probably would have gotten if I remembered to switch to Thor Hammer. But I don't believe I actually got it.
Yeah, I mean, when you know that the Cure 4 is coming, you either want to set up or try to beat it. But I'm guessing even without switching, you should be okay here. Ooh. Is it time for lock?
I was really happy about the slow 2 missing.
Yeah.
I would have had to reset if that happened. Or actually, maybe not. I might have gone fast on the knight. I actually think it would have been fine.
Yeah, the knight has fast, so you can do it that way. Yeah, if you still had the black mage, I would actually say this would be a great time for lock. You are doing enough damage that I don't think you have to take a turn off from attacking. I might not even not attack with the ninja here. I might just heal, yeah. And when you don't need to do anything, you can just wait. Okay, it'll be really sad if a Cure Force here, because otherwise you should be good.
And then that's it.
GG. No, I liked a lot of the things you did here. I learned a couple tricks as well, so I appreciate that a lot. I think menuing is probably the biggest thing. Oh, that video's over.
Oh yeah, haha.
Anything that you're thinking about having watched it back and talked about it?
I don't think so.
Awesome. Well, good luck in winter tournament. Are you going to be racing in the race tomorrow?
I wanted to, but I don't think I will be. I will be in the multiple races though, as many as I can.
Yeah, it's nice that there's so many. There's for folks who might not remember, there's Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday for 3 weeks, as well as one async per week. So no matter what your schedule is, there's good odds that there's something that you can do.
Well,
Uh,
goodbye everyone. Thanks for tuning
yeah,
in.
thanks for watching.